We are into the month of July, and that means it's almost time to celebrate the best and brightest our league has to offer. Welcome to the 2024 American Association All-Star Announcement Show. I am Matt Yeazel, pleased to be with you once again to celebrate the best of the first half of our 2024 season and the players who will represent both the East and West divisions in Kansas City, Kansas at Legends Field, the home of the reigning champion Kansas City Monarchs at this year's All-Star Game. Now, we're going to follow a similar format to last season. We'll announce both the reserve players and pitchers for both divisions, and then we'll get to the starters in both divisions. And then stay tuned till the end because you will see who is in the last man in vote. Yes, you, the fans, will have the impact on sending one more player from your favorite team to this year's All-Star Game. So stay tuned to the end to see who you can vote into this year's 2024 All-Star Game. But let's quickly look at the All-Star Game festivities before we start announcing the players. Obviously, we are 2 weeks away exactly from the All-Star Game at Legends Field, July 23rd, a Tuesday night. You can tune in, of course, for free at aabaseball.tv. And the night before, on Monday the 22nd, will be the Home Run Derby. Now, the participants have yet to be announced for that, so stay tuned on social media to see if your player will be taking part in the Home Run Derby, and we're excited for that. And, of course, on the 23rd as well, we will have a Hall of Fame banquet. We've already announced the Hall of Famers who will be enshrined in the American Association Hall of Fame, and we're excited to officially induct them and welcome them in on Tuesday the 23rd from KCK. And of course, you can go to aabaseball.com for all the information on the All-Star Game and the festivities and to get your tickets as well. And you can check out monarchsbaseball.com as well from our host. But without any further ado, let's get to announcing the players, and we're going to start with the West Division this year with the West Division reserves. And we're going to start with the first place Sioux Falls Canaries, where Trevor Achenbach is a West Division All-Star, currently leading the Canaries with 42 runs batted in on the season. He's already matched his home run total from last season with 12. Trevor Achenbach is a West Division reserve. And also in Sioux Falls, how about a back-to-back All-Star for Mike Hart, now in his 6th season with the Sioux Falls Canaries. He's having another great year, OPS around 900 and a batting average well over 300. Mike Hart, once again, is a West Division All-Star. Let's move to Fargo, where Ismael Alcantara is an All-Star, currently 2nd in the association with a .348 batting average and also 2nd on the team with 30 runs batted in. Ismael Alcantara is a West Division All-Star. And finally, among the reserves, how about the host team? Herbert Iser, the catcher behind the plate, has been a key bat in the Monarchs' new look lineup and has been productive with 22 RBIs and a .280 average. Herbert Iser is a West Division All-Star. Let's move to the pitching side, and we'll once again go to Sioux Falls for Ty Culbreth, the pitcher of the month back in May. Culbreth is having a breakout season in year 5 with the Canaries, a league best 191 ERA along with a league high 8 wins as well. Ty Culbreth is a West Division All-Star. And also in Sioux Falls, how about the bullpen for left-hander Zach Veen? 21 appearances on the year, 20.2 innings pitched, and 24 strikeouts for the left-hander and a .217 earned run average. Zach Veen is a 2024 All-Star. Now we've got a couple arms in Fargo Moorhead, starting with a back-to-back All-Star in Jake Dykoff. And an interesting story here, Dykoff has converted into a shutdown relief pitcher for the Red Hawks. He was a starter a year ago, but this year he's made 22 appearances and he's got a 1.48 ERA out of the bullpen. Jake Dykoff, once again, is an All-Star. And also for the Red Hawks in the rotation is Davis Feldman. The veteran has made 9 starts this year with a .254 earned run average. After making just 4 starts last season, Feldman has really stepped up to be a key cog in that Red Hawks rotation. Davis Feldman is an All-Star. Let's move to the hosts once again, where Julian Garcia is an All-Star in the Kansas City Monarchs rotation, leading the team with 48 strikeouts on the season. He picked up 10 of those in his last start and has an ERA of 2.31 after joining the Monarchs after spending 6 years in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. Garcia is an all-star in addition to his teammate from the bullpen, Nate Tellier. The reliever made 16 appearances in this first half, totaling 27 innings with 23 strikeouts. Nate Tellier is an all-star for Kansas City. Let's go north of the border to Winnipeg, where Joey Matulovic has certainly made an argument for pitcher of the first half. He was the pitcher of the month in June, and he's really broken out this season. 10 starts, a 2.53 ERA, and he leads the American Association with 75 strikeouts on the season. Joey Matulovic is an all-star, and he's going to join his rotation mate, Travis Seabrook. The Goldeyes rotation really has been all-star worthy. Seabrook has made 8 starts on the year, a 3.20 earned run average, along with 42 strikeouts on the season. Let's move to Lincoln. Dan Kubiak, the Salt Dogs reliever, one of the better bullpen arms in the league, has got a 1.71 ERA in 22 appearances this season. Dan Kubiak is an all-star. And then we'll move to Sioux City, where Kyle Marmon is another great bullpen arm in the West Division all-star. Penn made 18 appearances this season with a 3.27 earned run average and 33 strikeouts in just 22 innings of work. And he's going to join another arm for the Explorers in Joey Murray. 10 starts this season for the Explorers, has been very reliable in terms of going deep into games, frequently going at least 5 innings pitched. Joey Murray is a West Division all-star. Now we keep rolling on right into the East Division. We'll start with the reserves, and we'll start in Chicago, where Brantley Bell is an East Division all-star, a key supporting bat in the Dogs lineup. Bell hitting over 300 on the year with 7 homers and nearly 30 runs batted in, and he's a key run scorer as well for the very hot Dogs lineup. 35 runs scored on the year. Brantley Bell is an all-star. Let's stay in the state of Illinois, where Claudio Finol is an all-star for the Kane County Cougars. A high on-base guy, a 346 batting average, and an on-base percentage well over 400, but he's got some pop as well. 7 home runs. Claudio Finol is a East Division reserve. Now let's move to the state of Wisconsin, where Ryan Hernandez is an all-star, and what a week he just had to cement his status. 6 home runs in the 6-game set down south in Cleburne. He's got his average up to 327 on the season, along with the big power numbers. Ryan Hernandez is an all-star. And finally, from the Milwaukee Milkmen, Eric Ostberg is a 2024 all-star, a force behind the plate, both a key run producer and a steady bat. 41 runs batted in and a 330 batting average from the catcher position. Eric Ostberg is an all-star. Let's move right to the arms in the East Division, and we'll keep it with Milwaukee, where they've got a couple key bullpen arms, starting with Jordani Mezquita, a hybrid starter and reliever, primarily out of the bullpen, has a 3.16 ERA with 41 strikeouts on the year in 37 innings. And he will be joined by fellow reliever Mark Simon, moving from the Pioneer League to the American Association. Simon has 20 appearances, an ERA well below 3 in 22 innings of work. Mark Simon is an all-star. Let's move down south to Cleburne, where there'll be plenty of Railroaders left to go on this list, and we'll start with Chris Muller. 20 appearances out of the bullpen this year. He's got a couple of saves, a 3.14 earned run average on the season, and he's got another teammate joining him on the pitching side, Jacques Pichu, a starter for the Railroaders this year. 9 starts on the year, 3.81 ERA with 54 innings pitched, a 5-2 record. Chris Muller and Jacques Pichu of the Cleburne Railroaders are all-stars. Now let's move to Kane County. A couple of arms once again. Cougars always got some high-quality pitching. This year, Nick Belzer is an all-star in the rotation. 10 starts, a 3.57 ERA, and a 5-3 record. Nick Belzer is an all-star, and he's joined by his relief teammate C.J. Carter. 22 appearances out of the bullpen for Carter, a 3.29 earned run average. Big strikeout arm, 38 Ks in just 27 innings. CJ Carter is an all-star. Let's stick in Illinois, where John Baker, the dog starter, is an all-star. A 3.90 ERA this year for Baker in 10 starts. Lots of innings, 55 1/3 innings pitched on the year for Baker. John Baker is an all-star, and he will be joined by his thrilling left-handed closer, Joey Marciano. 14 saves on the season and 42 strikeouts in just 27 innings of work. He is very fun to watch. Joey Marciano is an all-star. Let's move to Gary. The Gary South Shore Railcats have a couple of arms here. First being Nate Alexander, a whopping 24 appearances out of the pen in this first half with 26 2/3 innings, and he's got 36 strikeouts on the year. Nate Alexander is a 2024 All-Star, and he will be joined by Josh Smith, another great relief arm for the Railcats. 25 appearances on the year and 26 innings pitched. He's got 25 strikeouts on the season as well. Josh Smith and Nate Alexander from the Railcats are all-stars. And last but not least, from the Lake Country Dockhounds, one more arm, we've got Alan Zang Carter. 13 appearances on the year with 29 strikeouts in just over 20 innings of work and an ERA below 1. Been outstanding this season. Alan Zang Carter is an all-star. All right, the moment you've all been waiting for, let's move right on to the West Division starters in the 2024 All-Star Game. We'll start with the catcher position, where it is Rob Emery of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. A key addition for the Goldeyes this year, as Rob Emery has been their top run producer. 39 RBI on the season to go along with 7 big flies. Rob Emery is your starting catcher in the West Division. Let's keep it in the infield, where from the hosts, it is Frankie Tostado at first base. The batting average leader in the American Association by a good margin, hitting .377 on the season. Tostado is also a great run producer, leading the team with 32 RBIs on the year. Frankie Tostado is your starting first baseman. Moving to second, how about another back-to-back All-Star, Dason Cruz of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. Of course, amongst the batting average leaders, once again hitting .322 on the season, and has continued to be a force both offensively and defensively at multiple positions around the diamond. Dason Cruz is your starting second baseman. Let's move over to third base, where it is Jack Dragum of the Lincoln Salt Dogs. Dragum has been a nice addition at third for the Salt Dogs. Batting average right around 300 on the season, but a quality bat in a very talented Lincoln Salt Dogs lineup. Jack Dragum is your starting third baseman. And finally, in the infield, from the first place Canaries, it is Jordan Barth, yet another returner to the Canary squad. Barth get his first All-Star nod thanks to 7 big flies on the year, 11 doubles, and has also scored plenty of runs towards the top of that Canaries lineup. 11 stolen bases as well. Jordan Barth is your starting shortstop. Let's move to the outfield, where Scott Oda is a starter. How fun has this guy been to watch? Oda has been the lead run producer for the Explorers squad this year with 50 RBIs and 8 home runs. Scott Oda is a starting outfielder, and so is Josh Raywald. Speaking of fun to watch, if you like big home run swings, then tune in to watch this guy. A tall, powerful left-handed bat, 12 homers on the year, and also a .335 batting average. Josh Raywald, a starting outfielder for the West Division. And finally, how about a veteran on this list? Also from Lincoln, Aaron Takis is an all-star. Earned the nod thanks to a .290 batting average to go along with 29 RBIs on the season, a ton of walks drawn as well. Aaron Takis is an all-star. And rounding it out, his teammate in the designated hitter spot, Luke Roscom. The big bat of Roscom will be the DH, 6 homers on the year to go along with 22 runs batted in. Luke Roscom is the starting designated hitter. And let's move right along to the East Division. We're going to start back in the infield with the catcher position, and it is Jax Groshans of the Cleburne Railroaders. The former Dockhound moved to Cleburne this year. 13 home runs with 43 runs batted in. Jax Groshans is your starting catcher for the East Division. Let's move to the first base position, where the lead run producer in the American Association, Jacob Teeter of the Chicago Dogs, is your starting first baseman. 55 RBIs on the year, also tied at the top of the league with 16 big flies, and gets on base a ton as well. Jacob Teeter is your starting first baseman. Let's head right back down to Cleburne, where Carter Alderete is the starting second baseman, hitting well over 300 on the year, along with his 13 home runs and 40 runs driven. And it feels like the whole Railroaders lineup has a ton of RBIs. We'll get to that later on. But let's move to the third base position, where Josh Altman is once again an all-star, this time with the Lake Country Dockhounds. He was in the game, of course, the last couple of years with both Lincoln and Chicago. What a trade the Dockhounds made in the offseason. Now their star shortstop is the starter for the East Division. Last spot in the infield, Shed Long Jr. of the Cleburne Railroaders. A high batting average, 320 at the top of the lineup, but still a run producer, 39 RBIs, as well as an on-base percentage well over 400, scoring plenty of runs with all those big bats. Shed Long Jr. is the starting shortstop. Let's move to the outfield, where there's plenty of new faces on Cleburne, but this is a familiar one. Another back-to-back all-star, Hill Alexander, with an average over 300, 9 homers on the year, and again, over 40 runs driven in. He's going to look to play every game again this season, just like he did a year ago. Hill Alexander, a starting outfielder in the East Division. Let's move to Chicago, where another starting outfielder is Narciso Crook. What a fun story he has been this year. The former Chicago Cub playing for a different Chicago team. He got off to a torrent start and has kept it up with 14 home runs on the season and 38 runs driven in. Narciso Crook is an all-star, and so is Brian O'Grady, the man who ended the 2023 season walking off the Miles Wolf Cup final for the Monarchs. He's going to return back to Kansas City as an all-star for Cleburne, and the man who's currently also at the top with 16 home runs on the year as well. Brian O'Grady is a starting outfielder. And finally, your starting designated hitter for the East Division is Todd Lott. Todd Lott joined the Cougars last year and has continued his hot hitting, 31 runs driven in on the season and an average right around 300. Todd Lott is your starting designated hitter. So there you have it. Those are your confirmed 2024 American Association All-Stars. However, as promised, we have the last man in vote in both the East and West Division. So here are your candidates for the last man in the East Division. We've got Nick D'Alessandro from the Chicago Dogs, Christian Scott of the Cleburne Railroaders, Chris Irwin of the Gary South Shore Railcats, Josh Allen of the Kane County Cougars, Demetrius Sims from the Lake Country Dockhounds, and Wendell Marrero from the Milwaukee Milkmen. And let's move to the West Division, where we got a representative from each team as well. Tyler Grauer of the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks, Ross Adolph of the hosting Kansas City Monarchs, Brandon McCabe of the Lincoln Salt Dogs, Ozzie Martinez of the Sioux City Explorers, Wyatt Rolrick from the Sioux Falls Canaries, and finally, Miles Symington of the Winnipeg Goldeyes. So those are your candidates, and make sure to head to aabaseball.com right now to go vote for the player from your favorite team and send them to the 2024 All-Star Game. But that'll do it for us here on the All-Star Announcement Show. A huge congratulations to all the stars who put on a show in the first half and will represent their teams at Kansas City in this year's All-Star Game. And we're looking forward to a fantastic event and a fantastic rest of the season as well. I'm Matt Yeazel. Thank you for watching. Congratulations to the All-Stars, and tune into the game for free at aabaseball.tv. Have a great night, everyone.